I'm so sorry for your loss. I can't believe he's gone.
He's in a better place now.
What would you do if you could hear what people say about you after you're gone? In Atlanta, Michael Turner was known as a rich man with a kind heart, the kind of man who helped people quietly, paid school fees for children he didn't know, fixed problems for strangers, and built a company from nothing with years of hard work and sacrifice. But the higher he rose, the more eyes followed him, and not all of them were good, because behind the smiles, jealousy was growing. Even inside his own circle, things were changing. And one night, something happened that Michael could not ignore. He overheard voices, familiar voices, his ex-wife and some of his trusted workers speaking in low tones, talking about his company, his money, and something that made his chest tighten. Once he's gone, everything becomes ours. In that moment, Michael didn't move, didn't react. He just listened. And the more he heard, the clearer it became. This wasn't just talk, it was a plan. But here's the strange part. He didn't confront them. He didn't shout. He didn't expose them. Why? Because something inside him said, if you react now, you lose. So instead, he did something no one expected. He disappeared. A sudden accident, a quiet announcement, a closed casket, and within days, his funeral was arranged. People cried, people posted kind words, people showed up in black. But there was one truth no one knew. Michael Turner was not dead. On the day of the funeral, inside the coffin, hidden and listening, Michael heard everything. And what he heard changed him. Some people stood quietly, but not in pain, in relief. Some whispered, not about memories, but about what comes next. And then came the speeches. His ex-wife stepped forward, tears in her eyes, voice shaking, saying all the right words. But something felt wrong, because her words sounded perfect, but her tone felt empty. Then others spoke, business partners, workers, talking about moving forward, about handling the company, about continuing what he started. But Michael understood something in that moment. They weren't talking about honoring him. They were talking about replacing him. And just when he thought he had heard enough, he heard something that confirmed everything. A quiet voice saying, "Now we can finally take control." Inside the coffin, Michael's hands tightened, because now there was no doubt. This wasn't grief, this was greed. But the story didn't end there, because what they didn't know was that every word, every whisper, every plan was being recorded. The next day, they gathered in his office, sitting around the same table he once led, confident, relaxed, ready to divide everything he had built, laughing lightly, speaking freely, believing their plan had worked perfectly, until the door slowly opened. And in that moment, everything stopped, because the man they buried walked in, alive, calm, watching. Silence filled the room. No one moved, no one spoke. Faces turned pale, hands began to shake, because the impossible had just happened. Michael stood there, looked around slowly, and then said quietly, "I heard everything." That's when panic began. Excuses, fear, denials. But it was too late. Michael didn't shout, he didn't argue, he didn't even raise his voice. He simply began to expose them, one by one, their meetings, their plans, their betrayal, because everything had been recorded. And in that moment, the same people who felt powerful just minutes ago felt small. Then Michael made his decision. Simple, final. He fired them. Every single one of them. No second chances, no excuses, no mercy. And just when they thought it couldn't get worse, Michael did something they never expected. He called forward one man, a quiet worker who had refused to join their plan, a man who stayed honest even when it was difficult, who chose loyalty when others chose greed. And in front of everyone, Michael rewarded him, giving him a leadership position in the company, trusting him with the future. And that's when it hit them. The same people who once laughed were now begging, asking for forgiveness, asking for another chance. But Michael just looked at them and said, "You showed me who you are, and that's enough." Because sometimes the truth is stronger than revenge. And here's the lesson. Success will always attract both good and bad people. But when people think you are no longer watching, they show their real heart. So be careful who you trust and pay attention to the small signs, because loyalty is rare, and once it is broken, it cannot be forced back. If this story made you feel something, subscribe for more powerful stories like this. And tell me, if you were Michael, would you have done the same? Or would you forgive them?